Hello and welcome to episode 125. This is incredible. Another milestone, 125 episodes already. This is titled Virtual Insanity. Why? Tony will tell you, but my name is Dr. KK. I'm the
Well,
innovation officer at Trinka. Hi, Tony.
the virtual insanity of recording 125 episodes of PubShorts
Yes.
doesn't, it shouldn't be ignored. Hello, everyone. I'm Tony O'Rourke. Welcome to the latest episode of PubShorts, which, if you watched previous episodes, and hopefully you have, otherwise, what have you been doing?
Yes.
We, with KK and I, talk about stories in the press relating to the world of academic publishing, whether it's research policy, technology, funding. We'd like to cover the important stories, and this episode is no different. We like to give each episode a theme and link that theme to a song.
Mm-hmm.
And today's song is actually, you know what? We were talking about this before the episode started. The title of this episode, "Virtual Insanity," perfectly matches the content that we're talking about today. So, "Virtual Insanity" is a song I'm sure you remember by Jamiroquai from the mid-90s, and it's a warning about technology warping reality. And so we're talking about stories, AI made images, research workspaces, how AI is impacting on IP battles, the David and Goliath of tiny models beating giants models, and that political genesis projects, all pushing us deeper into a world that feels increasingly unreal.
Excellent. Tony, do you remember Jamiroquai's Virtual Insanity video?
I try to forget it, but yes, I do remember it.
All right. So when I saw it in
Only
1990,
because I can't dance like he can. He's an amazing dancer.
right. So when I saw that video for the first time, maybe 97, 1997, if suppose you're wondering what 97 it is, I thought it might have been
1897.
I thought it might have been computer generated to a certain extent, and that's a nice segue to the story that we first starting off with. It is a Google Gemini related computer generated image identification integrity issue. It's titled Google Gemini. So Google says Gemini will now be able to identify AI generated images, but there's a big catch. So what is a catch? So first of all,
The big catch, yeah.
yeah, it is actually it's underselling the catch. It is not just big; it is the only thing that is relevant in this.
The catch is the story rather
Yes.
than what
Yeah.
Google can do.
Yeah, so Google's new AI image detection tool called Synth ID is obviously available, and it's now made available to more users. The tool is now tool works by detecting invisible watermarks added to AI generated images, and the catch is that it can only detect images made by Google's own AI and not those from other companies. So this is
You've got to
itself.
start some. You've got to start somewhere.
Right. So the reason why we are talking about Google in our the PubShorts podcast and conversations, because it is related to image manipulation and research integrity, and
Yeah.
this is because AI generated content is becoming more and more common, and it's harder to spot. And the tool is a step in the right direction, but obviously we need approximately 27 more steps or 125 steps. Judging by the amount of episodes that we have recorded so far. So,
At least.
any thoughts? I mean, have you had conversations with publishers in maybe the last 6 months or so, where they are even more concerned about research integrity in the context of images being generated by
I I,
artificial
I
intelligence?
have. I get a sense. Yeah, they're concerned about image manipulation, for example. That's always a major issue. They're not so concerned about the use of AI in generating the images. Their concern is whether the author has declared that or not,
Mm-hmm.
and that the images accurately reflect the research that's being presented. Um, but image manipulation is clearly is a hot topic and continues to be a hot topic.
Right, and we hope
And
that.
the ability, I should say, the ability to detect image
Yeah,
manipulation.
yeah. All right. Now moving on to a sort of a significant development in the publisher space. This I
So
first.
by the way,
Mm,
we kind of made light of the fact that Google can only detect Google
mm,
generate images, but still can be quite a large proportion of images. So it's not necessarily a weak story, but I think it's beginning to become even more interesting once other sort of image manipulation tools are then aggregated to be able to identify across the board how
right.
these images have been created. And it's all about if an author's going to use AI to create an image, be honest, be open, let the publisher know when they submit the paper.
Right, and you're right. I mean, we just made, I mean, I guess like fun of Google because obviously we need more sort of wider net to catch all the research integrity, sorry,
Yeah.
image integrity issues, right?
This is still a pretty big net.
Right, right. So Nano Banana Pro, which is Google's AI sort of image generator, image editor. So that's very popular. Even I've started using it, and last year, maybe 18 months ago, I was almost exclusively using ChatGPT and I guess DAL E eventually incorporated into, and Mid Journey, etc. But obviously, Nano Banana Pro, especially for people who are in the Google AI ecosystem, is a very valid. So at least it'll detect images generated by
Yeah,
Google.
and it's, yeah.
Yeah. All right. As I mentioned in my earlier segue, so big news. Elsevier has launched Leap Space, an AI-assisted workspace to accelerate research and discovery. This article is a press release from STM Publishing News. So this Leap Space is designed to help researchers work faster and discover more. The tool combines trusted scientific content with AI. That's the first part is very key when a publisher announces such things. Trusted scientific content behind their paywall would be made available, and researchers can use it for idea generation, literature review, finding collaborators, etc. And it has features like trust cards for transparency and allows users to upload their own content. So basically, you have something. I would equate something like, I guess, Notebook LM by Google, where you have obviously Elsevier's behind paywall content, licensed content, as well as the stuff that you want to put in to eventually do further research or I brainstorm, etc. So LeapSpace is built on Elsevier's responsible AI principles. That's important to note, and ensuring privacy and security. And thousands of researchers were involved in the development and testing, and institutions can preview LeapSpace. So that means that we cannot yet, or with commercial availability in the first quarter of 2026, the coming year. Any thoughts so far before I actually show you what Elsevier says about LeapSpace, Tony?
Um, just generally, I've long admired Elsevier's ability to be able to go beyond the perception of just being seen as a content organization. They are so much more. They've made a stated um, interest in being sort of part of that research workflow, almost every part of that research workflow. I remember when they launched Clinical Key some years ago, which was, it's not just access to Elsevier medical content. It's about tools that doctors can use to diagnose patients. It's they have got some really fascinating and powerful tools available.
Right, and just to make sure that people realize that this is built, Deep Space builds on the success of Science Direct AI and Scopus AI. Very, a high end tool for
Yeah,
researchers.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Let me quickly switch to what Elsevier says. So, hello, welcome to Leap Space. The page says it is obviously I've read out some of the things, some of the important points. Regarding what the users can upload their own content for analysis, it integrates with discovery tools. Efficiency tools like the reading assistant and compare are available. Compare would be to compare different articles in terms of research comparisons, and it emphasizes the privacy and security for users as well as institutions. And it is the content that you can, like license content that I mentioned, is exclusively from trusted scientific sources and not unverified web data. So if you want to translate that to what that means, instead of using, let's say, things like ChatGPT, you should be using things like LeapSpace or any academic oriented tool. That's a point here. That's a main point here. Any thoughts on what I just said, Tony?
No. I'm really looking forward to seeing this in action.
Excellent. So, moving on to the next story, it is from the New York Times. This is related to the last episode's story, but this is a positive spin on the way things are, especially in the context of AI and education in classroom. So, this is titled "I'm a Professor. AI has changed my classroom, but not for the worse." I think this is probably the one positive article in AI and education that I've seen in the last 3 months or so. Anyway, so this is written by Professor Carlo Rotella and discusses how artificial intelligence has changed his classroom. He's been teaching English at Boston College for 25 years. And when I looked at his profile photograph, I would not have imagined that he is teaching English for 25 years. And I double checked it. That's the reason why I'm saying. Contrary to fears, AI hasn't.
What does an English teacher look like then?
A young man. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Contrary to fears, AI hasn't ended reading or writing. Students still want to be independent thinkers. Excellent. These are, I don't know, the exact words that I want to hear in December 2025 regarding how AI is. Maybe I'm an AI, apologist. optimist. Rotella's approach involves more human interactions in teaching, and he's retooled his courses to focus on the process of writing, not just the product itself, the written product. And old school methods like pen and paper exams are making a comeback, he mentions, and teachers are emphasizing in-class participation and community, engagement. And Rotella believes these changes make humanities education even more vital in the AI age, and he encourages students to do their own thinking and to avoid becoming obsolete. I cannot say anything more.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is you say this is the first positive article about AI in education you've read in a while. I think this is the only positive article I've read about the use of AI in humanities education. I mean, it's the reality. We all know the reality. The reality is these tools are there. These tools exist. Students go to university not just to waste 3 years. They go to university and to college to improve themselves. So the sort of feedback he's getting from students is encouraging. It's positive, and I'm sure every student feels the same way. There will always be students that want to game the system, and may not necessarily have the kind of outcomes that every single professor will expect them to have. But the vast majority of students want to develop and learn, and they just have to learn that in this modern context.
Right. Some of the points talked about in this article, Professor Rotella's thoughts are related to responsible AI movement that we've been talking about, Tony. And
Yeah,
Leap
yeah.
Space is also Elsevier's responsible AI sort of output. So, can you explain what responsible AI is from our point of view? What Inago's responsible AI movement stands for, and how people can find more about it?
Yeah, so earlier this year, it's a call to action, I suppose. Really, we developed a call to action called Responsible AI Movement, where we asked everyone involved in the community to adopt best practice in the use of AI.
Mm-hmm.
And what does best practice mean? Best practice is really around the responsible use of AI, acknowledging the use of AI,
Mm-hmm.
not discouraging the use of AI, but being honest and open in how you use AI.
Right.
So when you're submitting content, when you're writing content, when you're creating content, when you're sending content to a publisher for publication, whether it's a book, a journal, conference proceeding, whatever it is, you're open and transparent and honest about how you used AI. And the responsible AI movement is trying to set. I won't say rules. The rules are too strong, but guidelines in terms of what best practice looks like.
Excellent. And is there a place on our websites that they can find more information regarding this?
Yes, there is. Just have to search Responsible AI Movement on the Inago website, and you'll find all sorts of information about it.
Excellent. Thank you, Tony. And I'm moving on to the next story. So, first, switching the story. This is a Nature news feature called "This AI Combo Could Unlock Human Level Intelligence." So, this is again a related story to something that we discussed in episode 124. So, it's written by Nicola Jones, and it discusses the exciting trend of neurosymbiotic AI. It's a blend of old school logic systems and modern neural networks like those in large language models. So, most AI experts believe this combination is key to achieving human level intelligence or maybe even artificial general intelligence. Neural networks are great at learning from data but can hallucinate. So, symbiotic AI is a logical and sort of explainable sort of next step, but it struggles with messy real world data. So, combining them, so neurosymbiotic, would be a combination, aims to get the best of both worlds: reliable reasoning and creative learning. Examples include alpha geometry, which shows promise solving complex math problems. So I guess it is another Google related product, and there are different ways to combine these, like using symbols to guide neural nets. Wait, am I yeah, all right. Symbols to guide sorry, where am I in my notes? Yeah, to guide neural nets or neural nets to speed up symbolic searches. And challenges remain like encoding human knowledge and avoiding the black box problems in neural nets, which is black box problem is common to any sort of deep learning or neural net based artificial intelligence. Now, for some top AI researchers are skeptical regarding this neurosymbiotic AI, but the field is rapidly advancing with the focus on creating AI that can truly reason and generalize. So we can generalize artificial general intelligence. That's a sort of hint for the sort of future of AI. And until that is achieved, Tony, I would believe that where we've been sort of advocating the fact that humans have to oversee all AI assistants interactions as well as the content that is generated in the context of academic research, especially because without this you can never trust really the content that comes out from an AI. So What do you think?
I can't say anything more on top of what you've said, really, KK. So that it's an interesting step in the evolution.
Mm,
We will. I'm sure there will reach a point where there is AGI, artificial general intelligence, as long as it's in hand with human guardrails. Then
yeah.
yeah, I'm interested to see how this progresses.
Right. Back to STM publishing news. Another press release, report, Clarivate report reveals 85% adoption of AI across the intellectual property ecosystem. So when I initially read this, I misread the article. So it is about intellectual property ecosystems, and it shows 85%. Obviously, that I've said. This is a big jump from just 2 years ago, Tony, when it was just 57%. So intellectual
Yeah,
property, so AI adoption is much larger. People aren't asking if they should use AI anymore, but how to use it correctly in the context of intellectual property.
yeah,
Lawyers
yeah,
and in-house counsel are still being careful about AI because of things like client confidentiality and legal liability. So law firms use AI in three or more areas, but they are much happier than what they used to be. And corporates, big corporate companies are also using AI to report higher satisfaction. However, many lawyers still think AI won't change their jobs too much, and AI is being used for things like finding out about competitors and patent research. Humans are still needed for legal judgment and understanding context. So it's a team effort, as per the article. And some of the key concerns about AI include privacy, liability, and making sure that it's accurate and explainable. And professionals want AI to deliver. Let me get my cursor back. Yeah, want AI to deliver real results and be reliable, which means using good data and having expert oversight. I mean, it seems like it's pretty much saying what I just said at the end of the last article. So, any thoughts on this, especially from the context of the legal profession?
no, I think it's again a natural evolution. The legal profession has been using databases for years in terms of trying to manage intellectual property, and this is just another step in making that process quicker, more easier, more accessible. I think we should see a lot more of this as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if you intentionally use natural. Did you not say natural evolution? Because the next story is sort of an interesting segue. Trump's AI Genesis mission. What are the risks and opportunities? So I hadn't known about this until now, and so this article from Nature discusses the potential impacts of the U.S. government's new AI Genesis mission. Well, the mission aims to accelerate AI research by granting researchers and AI firms access to national laboratories, data, and computing power. So that's a lot of words, but basically, a lot of data is being given. I don't know if it's right or not to AI companies. So keep that in mind. This public-private partnership involves major tech companies like Microsoft, IBM, and OpenAI, and the goal is to boost U.S. research productivity and innovation, leading to breakthroughs in fields like medicine and energy. Interesting. The initiative also seeks to develop AI agents capable of hypothesis generation with research automation. While some are optimistic, some others are skeptical about the value of AI agents and the potential flaws.
Yeah,
The plan is an expansion of existing AI efforts by the Trump administration. I think a few episodes ago we covered the fact that Trump administration is against state level governance regarding AI. AI companies, AI development itself. So keep that in mind. And the Department of Energy starts with identifying research challenges and data assets within a tight deadline. So this is a focus on energy related sort of research. Private companies are expected to collaborate potentially through research agreements and accessing government facilities. So I think it's one step forward after the administration has taken about 125 steps backward in terms of research advancement in the US. You would agree with me on that point, right?
it's rare to see there being such a positive. Well, not I won't necessarily say positive. It's such an interesting development in terms of encouraging research, but clearly with a particular focus. Um, do I think it's a good idea to make the national labs
Mm.
available more widely? Well, they are state-funded institutions, so in a sense, I suppose they belong to the people in the US, and therefore that data should be more widely available. How it's used, of course,
Mm.
is another matter. But no, I think it's certainly an interesting policy.
Yeah, I would also argue that science belongs to the people as well, Tony. So less
Yeah,
regulations
yeah,
for
well,
science as well. All
yeah.
right. With your permission,
Intellectual property owners might disagree with you, but yeah.
well, okay. So we work for some of these as well, intellectual property owners as well. So anyway, moving on to quick hits, four of them. The first one, if you remember, Tony, last year November, I think we first heard about DeepSeek, and that was a small model. And this is a news article. Say it's about a month old. Tiny AI model beats massive LLMs at logic tests. So this is very interesting. A breakthrough of in AI research, as per this article. So this model is called TRM, that is tiny recursive model, and has outperformed much larger models in logic tests. And this happened, as in this news broke, I guess, on the Abstract and Reasoning Corpus for Artificial General Intelligence (ARC-AGI) test. Wait, no, this didn't happen there. It happened on the basis of the performance for this test. So ARC-AGI test. The TRM is 10,000 times smaller than large language models, and if you remember, DeepSeek is much smaller than large language models because it uses something called distillation, and it excels at specific logic puzzles like sudokus and mazes, and it doesn't understand or generate language like LLM. So this is primarily, that's the main thing that I want to talk about in terms of the scale and the size of, I guess, infrastructure that one needs to have to host a model, to make it the brains behind operation, for example, or developments. If you want to have a scientific artificial intelligence based product, if you want logical decision making, maybe you can use a small model like the TRM. And this probably is the first time I'm hearing about this, but I don't know how it escaped my radar, or it flew under my radar. But anyway, so do you think this is the future of, let's say, applications that require, let's say, some amount of braininess?
Well, I suppose I'm not quite sure I understand the application. Are they saying that these tiny models can outbeat large LLMs in
Logic.
clearly defined fields, in
Yeah.
logic in clearly defined fields? So it's not saying across the board. It's saying again in one this particular discipline or this particular subject area, this LLM could be a small model could be applied, and it will give you better logic, better outcomes than the LLM.
Yeah, so let me explain it. Let's say we are putting ChatGPT in its current form to solve a
Yeah,
Sudoku puzzle.
yeah,
It, despite it being really large, it will struggle with solving the Sudoku puzzle. Whereas this tiny model,
yeah,
10,000 times smaller, can solve it better than ChatGPT as it right
yeah.
now. But it cannot
Okay.
generate text. So that is a sort of difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see. You know what? AIs can become increasingly prevalent,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to see a mixture of large and small models available,
Yeah.
because some smaller models will be better suited to different applications.
Right. All right, some OpenAI ChatGPT news. What OpenAI did when ChatGPT users lost touch with reality. So that's a sort of a concerning visual as well. Uh,
It
so
is.
so a software update intended to make ChatGPT more appealing made it riskier for some users. The company had since worked to make the chatbot safer, but this might affect its growth. So what was the thing that they changed initially, which they rolled back, is basically it was becoming more sycophantic, and that means that, I, like, people like me got frustrated with ChatGPT. And believe it or not, Tony, about 2 months ago, I wasn't using Claude as much as I'm using it right now, and this is around the time that this happened. So people, there was a big, it's around the GPT-5 release, I think. So when they rolled it back, it became less sort of nice to the users, and so the people who have already shifted are probably not going to shift back. I still use ChatGPT, but not as much as I used to.
Well,
So
because ChatGPT is being mean to them.
no, not just that. ChatGPT was being overly nice to them. People were
Yeah,
frustrated when
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
got.
yeah,
So
yeah.
because of it, they migrate.
You want a challenge?
Yeah, yeah, right. Right now they've rolled it back, but that means that, let's say, uh, early users, let's say somebody who started to use ChatGPT for the first time, they might find it less nice and hence may not get on with it. And that's what ChatGPT or OpenAI thinks. It might create a problem in terms of it being sort of more popular and growing as a business in terms of many users. So this is a challenge, that this is a line that I guess generative AI companies, vendors need to toe. So let's see where that takes us.
Well,
Moving.
you want your chat GPT to be slightly more combative and not just assume everything you're telling it's true. You want it to be able to verify and check. So I think I welcome it.
Yeah, I would say critical or critiquing, that's the best way, not combative. I would want it to question the things that I might have mis sort of represented or whatever. So that it can be polite in doing it, but
Tomato, tomato. I think we're saying the same thing.
well, we might be. And we have more AI news. Anthropic introduces a cheaper, more powerful, and even more efficient Opus 4.5 model. And I guess I had to cover it because it is part of this news update. It's not new technically, it's about 2 weeks old, and I've been using Opus a lot. I love it. Just the one problem with it, it's Tony, it's better than ChatGPT, or let's say GPT 5.1 in my opinion. Opus is better in my opinion, but I run out of credits while vibe coding and everything faster than ever. So each sort of session, I'm like, very much into my vibe coding experiments, and then I have to. I mean, Anthropic tells me that I have to wait until, let's say, a couple of hours later to restart it. So that's the only frustrating thing about Opus, but it's a deeper thinking, deeper sort of reasoning model. Sonnet 4.5 is the one that I used to use, but Opus is better, and it really is good.
So
Have
what's the difference between Sonnet and Opus?
Opus is I mean, deep thinking reasoning model, and hence it
Yeah.
it it does a really thorough job of improving whatever you're trying to do. Anyway, so this is a news story about a couple of weeks old, and the last one, this is related to music, and this is also very sort of apropos for the title that we have chosen for this episode. Warner Music settles legal war with Suno. I think Suno. I'm not sure if it is pronounced as Suno, which is
Suno,
Suno.
yeah.
Yeah, in landmark AI partnership. So if you're wondering what this is, so the Warner Music Group has settled a lawsuit with AI music generator Suno. This is a landmark deal, and WMG, that is Warner Music Group, is the first major music company to partner with Suno. And the terms of the settlement and partnership are not public, but they aim to protect artists and creators. So Suno will be releasing new license models and phasing out older ones. Download limitations will still be imposed, with only paid subscribers being able to download. And this follows WMG's similar settlements with UDO, and is a part of a larger trend of music companies addressing AI infringements. Is it virtual insanity, Tony, to have WMG settle with an AI music generator? I don't know, brand. I mean, are we heading into a future where the bands that we loved? I mean, they won't matter anymore because of AI music.
That's the thing that concerns me more than anything else. As we've spoken about, I'm not a professional musician. I never have been. I've never wanted to be. But for those who want to spend their life making music, the very least is they should be able to make a career, get some income from it, and have be able to afford to live doing what you do and what you do well. That's becoming increasingly difficult.
Mm.
And example of that might be the launch of the music streaming platforms years ago.
Mm.
Very few musicians make any real money
Mm.
from those streaming platforms, and I've plenty of examples of small scale musicians who have to, by choice, have to stream their music, and they're just not getting sales anymore. So being compensated for your creative work is absolutely critical. So I would welcome the ability to be able to license
Mm.
content. I would be concerned, however, on the continued impact that's going to have on the musician's ability to earn
Yep.
from their chosen career.
Right, Tony. On that somber note, I mean, to come clean, I quit being a doctor to chase a career as a professional musician, and obviously I had to support myself because music would not be supporting a musician in India, and that's the reason why I went into the academic publication industry. And this was what 17, 18 years ago, and considering where we are, it is much worse. And I honestly, even if I wanted to be at the level of a professional musician, I cannot make money out of music. And so this is an example, and this is the virtually insane world that we find ourselves in, and which brings us to the previous 124, which is, these are virtual, I agree, but they're not insane. They're very sane episodes where Tony and I talk about all the developments in
Okay,
PubShorts.
I think you made enough links back to the title of the episode.
Well, so Tony, how can people watch, listen, follow
Yeah.
all our commentary in the
Okay,
last?
so all previous 124 episodes and this episode quite soon as well are available over on our on the Inago PubShorts playlist. You can find that on YouTube. Just search Inago playlists, Inago PubShorts, and you'll see all previous 124 episodes there. We encourage you to like the episode or make comments if you don't like it, or if you do like it, or comments about what you'd like to hear us cover in future episodes. And share with your colleagues and friends. We welcome your input.
Yeah, go on. That's it?
No, that's it.
All right. So we thank you for your viewership, listenership, and we appreciate the feedback that you've given us so far. And until the next time with episode 126, this is Dr. KK signing off on behalf of Tony as well as the team. We will see you in the next one. Wouldn't we, Tony?
Yes.
Okay.
See you in the next one.
Bye, Tony.